Welcome back. Matt and Dave out here at our historic front porch rebuild project. Last time you saw us put the chuck stacking down and make some trim repairs. We're back now to put the refurbished columns on and start getting the roof frame in place. So the first project we need to do with that is get some of this scaffolding set back up. We have to slide the columns on from the top, so we need to get up a little higher, and that'll also allow us to get the ledger on for the roof frame. So we have things temporarily set up so the family that lives here can use the front door again, but we'll need to get up there, get our ledger on at the roof line. We need to clean up around the dormer there a little bit still, and then we actually need to get back up top and finish getting the crown mold on up there. So lots to do. Let's get going. Well, the rain today moved in quicker than expected, but we got a little bit done. We only got about a half hour in, so we got the start of it. We just need to put another layer of 5 feet sections on top of that, and then figure out exactly how we want to go around the bay window there. But we'll be back next week after the rain finishes, and the columns should be ready for us at that point, so we'll get that stuff going. The storms have finally cleared for now, so we're back on this nice sunny but hot and humid day, and we got the scaffolding set back up to allow us to get back up to the cornice, so we can get that trim piece in there now that the birds have moved on. We'll finish getting painted up there, and then the 3 columns, the refurbishment on that by the owner is just about ready for us. So we're set up here, ready to go. Should just pop in right where the old crown was, and then we'll paint over everything again and make it look like practically brand new, from the ground at least. So these long pieces take 2 of us, one to hold each end. Get this first piece on, then cut the other piece to size. Oh, we got the first piece up here, and this one is the longer of the 2, so the next one should be a little easier. Not that this one was hard, just definitely took 2 of us to get it far enough along, since it's a little floppy, and fitting it to maybe not quite perfectly straight cornice anymore. But get this nailed off, get the other one in place, and then we'll get another coat of paint over this. So there is one of the bird nests in there. They have moved along finally, so we're going to evict them once and for all and get it covered up. So we're just finishing up the painting up top. We got Rust-Oleum on the tin that covers the cornice. It's in kind of rough condition, but still serviceable, so we'll get a life extension on it with 2 coats of the Rust-Oleum. And then we have 2 coats on all of the existing cornice pieces, and then the crown mold got 2 coats on the ground before we put it up, and now 2 coats up here once it's in place. So we're just finishing up the last little bit of the painting, and then we will head down to get started on the columns. We are back after a rain delayed morning. The columns are finally ready for us. Got a couple touch-ups up at the cornice to do, then we can take the top of the scaffolding down, but we'll need it inside for helping to get the columns over the posts and attaching the new ledger for the ceiling and the rafters. So we will go pick up the columns out of the backyard and see what it takes to get them in place. Time to try putting one of the columns on, and we ran into a bit of an unexpected issue. We knew the top was solid, but it's solid for like 5 inches. Maybe not 5, that could be an exaggeration, but way more than we were expecting. We were expecting to just cut through and keep the 6x6 extended through. Not gonna happen. So we cut off the 6x6 at the correct height. We're gonna set the column on top of it. The weight will transfer through, continuous to the 6x6, so that will still be the load path, but we'll be setting on top instead of bolting through like we wanted. There was no actual plans within the drawings of how to make this attachment. It just showed 6x6s up and reusing the columns. So we're making it work. So in comparison to that post further down, you can see we cut off 18 inches, maybe, something like that. So we're gonna lift this up, see how it goes.
It might be better to get up on this one to lift it from.
I left me a 47-second long voicemail.
You know it?
No, I don't know.
And then I could slide it down.
Yeah, maybe. Tough to say. Do it from out here where there's no cross brace.
Right.
We get on the bottom.
Yeah,
to get it high enough.
What?
You're probably right to get it high enough. It's got to
There,
set
now
here.
you want me to go out here on this one?
No, because I think you need to get it from.
Oh, that.
Once I put it over,
There you're on it.
you got to take control.
I got it. And it should be the right amount to put this piece underneath it. That'll be exactly right.
Yeah. We may have to correct this post though, still. I don't know. It looks like it leans out.
Yeah. Watch yours on top. Straight out.
Nice.
Oh,
Just enough room
wow.
around the scaffold.
Wow.
3 columns are in place, although we're gonna have to work on that middle column a little bit. The 6x6 had bowed, as they do often, and it's throwing it out of plumb a little. We thought there was actually a little more wiggle room inside the column, but not at the top, just as you get lower. So we'll get that fixed up, and then once those are in line, we can start building the roof structure.
Amen.
Well, I don't care how level it actually is at the moment.
I know, but I'm looking. Get your spot right.
I can screw it in either way. And it'll just pivot.
Yeah. Come on.
So that should... Looks about the same. As long as we're within an inch or two, it's really,
Yeah, we gotta tear that off.
it really doesn't matter
No, we can create our own.
since it's all new. You gotta come down just a touch. Not that much of a touch, sorry. When I said just a touch, up a little. Just
Won't go. I'm hitting the goo.
no, you were fine when you were right on the goo.
Oh, okay. Goo lagoon?
Goo. That's apparently not it.
Drop it a little bit. Stay at.
Can you push up at all?
Nope.
All right, that's fine. Got the wood that time.
That was it.
That screw got really hot going in though.
Really?
There you want to pop that in.
You're right. This screw is hot.
Put in a couple more just to hold
Well,
it tight.
I didn't want to go too close to the edge.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, it is holding it till we drill anchors.
Let's say anchors away. Now we got to get
Piece. So tape measures for.
yeah, but how far?
Well, that is a dandy of a question.
It looks like it right at the window is where it starts curving. Right here, but you can't tell.
Again, we can make it whatever we want, but the idea is that this has the same slope. If it's within a couple inches, it's really not going to matter. But that's what they jointed it as. I suspect it should go about this far, and then the new rafter will die into the end of this.
That's when it's going to get started. Oh no, that'll sit on the.
Well, we won't be able to actually do that until
Until
we
that
have all
comes
of the, until we have everything we need.
Well, that part anchored into the wall and their flat piece built.
Yeah. This strikes me as all too high. It just needs to be scraped off. Yeah, I wasn't planning to scrape it off. Somebody should.
Yeah.
So if we go another 29 inches.
But the big thing is to figure out how to anchor this bracket to the wall.
Yeah, because when that ends there, and then our 2x12 comes up about that high, and then the top of the rafter probably ends up right about here. So I think this is just from the old counter flashing
Filled up.
and they put this on top of it when it started separating. That's why it's all
So thick and gooey.
gooey. That's fascinating. The level of their course is a little off. Could have been settling, could have been built like that. Ultimately, it doesn't actually matter. But we need a 29-inch piece.
Sounds quite good.
They sold us a used board.
So
We never used the hole.
yeah.
You got the bubble.
Didn't dip much or anything.
Maybe too far.
Yeah, here's the line.
Can you put it back on top, please? able to take advantage of a board being back there to pop some screws into our ledger for the rafters here. That'll hold it to an extent, but for long-term holding power, we're going to drill in anchors and tighten it down good and strong so that the roof doesn't pull away like the previous porch did. It took a long time for that to happen, but we don't want it to happen again. Epoxy's no good, I forgot to talk about it.
Yep.
We'll just drill it and leave it.
Just what?
I don't have the caulk gun. We'll just drill it and leave it. We'll put them in tomorrow. Not like we're putting any weight on it yet.
No. Can't get to that one.
This is that soft, hard brick. That actually had a little something. That was good. Probably just fine with epoxy. It is time to start building the roof frame here, and the first piece we're going to tackle is from the column into the house, and the plans don't actually specify how to attach it, and I don't think the previous version was attached much at all. Looks like just a couple nails into a little bit of wood stuck in the joints there. So we need a little something better than that. We are going to take a block of 2x8 there and take advantage of that wood to put a couple screws in to temporarily hold it. Then we will drill through and put some anchor bolts epoxied into the actual brick. So that will hold the load of the 2x12s that will hanger off of that, and then we can build our decorative trim frame around that, and it'll catch the rafters as well. So we can take that same thing and do it at that end, and then this front is easy because it just sits on top of the columns. So that'll give us our horseshoe essentially of a frame, and then all the trim works off of that, and then the rafters will come off our ledger up there, and then once we clean this up that we left to protect the plaster behind from rain until we could get to it, we'll get that off, work the rafters all around the bay and the whole thing, and then we'll have the roof on here. So we'll get started with this piece right here. So we got this little piece held on about as well as the previous structure was. Just a few nails, just a couple screws this time. So now we'll put 4 bolts through and epoxy so it's good and tight, and then the hangers. So you can see right here how little was actually holding. Just 4 nails. Worked for a while. We have our bottom board in place now, and it's a 1x10. So we did have a floating joint here. We couldn't get any 16 feet long 1x10s, but there were joints in the previous version, so that's fine. Once it's caulked and everything's painted over again, never even notice it. So up the side here, we got the start of our kind of horseshoe. So now we can get the 2x12s on top. We have double hanger at each end, so 2 2x12s around, and we'll get started cutting those now. So the 2x12s are pretty simple at this point. We just get them on top of the 1xs. They're a little bit heavy. These are some good solid boards we found. So getting the connections made at the corners, and these span post to post just like you would expect, and then into the hangers over there. So got a few more. Well, that takes care of the main frame part here. 2x12s, bottom piece. So next up, we'll figure out how to put together the rest of the trim frame, and then of course we need some rafters here. But that'll have to wait because it is after 4 p.m. on a Friday and it is hot out here. So time to pack up and head home. As you can see, we're starting to get the form of the upper trim there. So got the structure that we need. Now we just need to figure out how to put the rest of it back together. You also may have noticed that the actual bases of the columns are missing. One of them is still in decent shape. The other two need to be reformed. Don't know if we're going to try to do that ourselves or if we're going to find a place that can take care of it, but that is on the agenda to address. Well, that's a wrap on things for this time. As always, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you haven't already done so, we would really appreciate a like and a subscription. It really does help a small channel out like we have here. We are getting close to 1,000 subscribers, so maybe this is the video that can push us over. That'd be exciting. So again, thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next video when we get the trim going.